What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How's everybody doing out there in fish tank land? Today I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update on my Blackwater Amazon Biotope tank. Don't go anywhere. So I just want to do a little bit of a spotlight on this Blackwater Amazon Biotope aquarium that I've been setting up since I came back from Peru. I've had these two angelfish for a long time. They were actually rescues, and they've been in this aquarium for about a year and a half. But when I was in Peru, I got an opportunity to see the natural biotopes there, and just there was no real aquatic plants or anything like that, but there was definitely a lot of leaf litter. There's a lot of tannins in the water. And I just wanted to recreate that when I got home. So I just wanted to share with you guys what's been going on in this aquarium. I just turned the lights on. I do have a lot of dried botanicals that I've been boiling on the stove, and I'm going to go ahead and add them to this aquarium. But before I muck up the water or anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and feed them, and maybe we get a chance to see these bumblebee catfish come out. So I'm hoping for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add these dried botanicals. I also have some cocoa shell. I have some catappa leaves or West Indian almond leaves, as well as some mango leaves and some different things like that I'm going to go ahead and add to the top, because the leaf litter in here has been slowly starting to break down and settle. Just want to add another layer on top of that. So let's get a little closer look at this aquarium and feed these guys. So you can see there's lots of different dried botanicals that I've added to this aquarium. Just lots of different stuff. I've got stems from coconut palm fronds. I have mangrove. I also have my catappa leaves. I have banana palm frond. I have something here we call locally we call tan. So you can see that I do have some Corydoras CW109s in there. There's one right there in the center of the shot. The angelfish are chilling, just waking up. They're definitely ready for some food. So I'm going to go ahead and add the tetracolor tropical granules for the angelfish. And then I do have a mixture of stuff in here. There's like 4 or 5 different kinds of pellets. This comes from California blackworms, I believe. It's got like a nice little mix, and I'm gonna put those little pellets. They'll sink to the bottom, and this is kind of my little staging area right here for my for my Corydoras to eat, but really so that I have a chance of ever seeing my bumblebee catfish. Now everybody's still alive in here. I received, I did collect these Corydoras from Peru, as well as the bumblebee catfish. So this is kind of my only real community tank, and I'm trying to make this a true biotope tank. All 8 of the Corydora CW109s are still alive. I haven't had any losses there. I thought I had lost one, but I've counted all 8. And then I also still do have my 2 bumblebee catfish, which had disappeared for a long time into the leaf litter and slowly are making their way out, because I'm forced them to come here to get food so I can ever see them. So let me go ahead and get some food into this tank, and we'll see if we get some of these guys to come out. I'm gonna go ahead and start by giving some tetracolor tropical granules up in here at the top, and some of the stuff will fall at the bottom, but I have no problem with that, because these Corydoras will definitely clean up the rest of that the angelfish don't get to. Now there's definitely, oh, you can already see one of the bumblebee cats coming out right there. There he is, chilling out, looking for something. I love these guys, they're so cool, and they're just like, I'm lucky when I do get to see them, I feel like. But they're happy guys. There's 2 of them. Now they don't really even want these tetracolor granules so much. They're waiting for these pellets to make their way into the tank, I'm pretty sure. I'll try to drop these pellets so that they kind of make their way into my little staging area. Now the Corydoras love this stuff, so this is really the food for the Corydoras in the bumblebee cats. Now that bumblebee cat is still just hanging out over there. He can smell that stuff already. He knows what's up. And it's been really cool to see these Corydoras and how they act kind of in a natural biotope environment. They all sleep together. They communally all sleep together in a little group on top of one little leaf right over here at the top. And that's just really cool. Like right there where that one well, where the angelfish is there, right on that leaf, they all kind of like sleep together on that leaf, which is kind of cool. We got the other bumblebee cat right there, hiding out behind that leaf. I just love the markings on these bumblebee cats. I think they're beautiful. They're just like, they look like they are just covered in camouflage. And it definitely fattened up a lot since I've gotten them. These guys are all pretty happy. Pretty happy guys. And like I said before, I have all 8 of those in there. So this tank altogether has 8 Corydoras CW109s, 2 bumblebee catfish, and the angelfish, the pair of angelfish, which do spawn for me every once in a while if I get the water temperature up. But you know, the mulm is not usually this bad, like all the suspended solids floating around in the water. That's a little heavy at the moment, like I said, because I just fed them and they're kicking everything up. But it's also time for me to go ahead and clean this filter, and I'm adding some new botanicals on the surface, which will hold down some of the other mulm underneath. But this is really my favorite tank almost, just for being a natural biotope. I don't have a lot of lighting on it because I'm trying to keep it natural as well, so half the tank over here stays pretty dark, and that's just a place where, you know, if the angelfish or the other fish want to just kind of hide out in a dark space and feel safe, like in nature, they can go to that side of the tank. But this is kind of the side of the tank where they're on display and can be seen. And like I said, that's kind of like the little staging area. Well, like I said before, I have a whole bunch of botanicals that I've been sterilizing on the stove today and yesterday. So they're definitely all ready to go into this aquarium. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those. It's definitely going to muck up the water a little bit. We'll get some mulms floating around through the water. But after I clean the filtration today, it's really going to help to polish that water. And the tannins will kick up over the next couple of days. And it's really going to start to look cool. So let me go ahead and grab those botanicals and we'll get those in this aquarium. Alright guys, here we go. I got a whole bunch of good stuff here. There's probably like 15, 20 West Indian almond leaves. I got a little bit of palm frond here as well for the aquarium. And then underneath of it, I got some cool stuff here. I have a, this is actually from the hazelnut tree. This is the cocoa shell, as they call it. It's the actual outside shell of a hazelnut. And then inside of it are like 6 individual pods, and inside that are the hazelnuts. So this is really cool. It's kind of like a coconut shell, but it's a little bit thicker, and it's been boiling and soaking overnight. So I'm pretty sure it's saturated enough to sink. Hopefully all this stuff will sink for camera, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. There's some other stuff here. These other little seed pods which I have, which are a great place for fish to hide out in. Maybe if you're working with like wild betta fish or something, be a nice little place to chill out and hide out, make a little home out of it. Now I get these from my aquarium box. I don't actually find these here on the island, so these are from my aquarium box. You can check those out. There's also this other deal here. I'm not sure what kind of fruit this is, but these have been cut open by man. But it's really nice as well. Just another place that like maybe some apistogrammas or betta fish or something like that might like to actually lay their eggs inside of here. Make this a little home, something like that. But this is really cool. I'm gonna add one of these as well. And I also get these from my aquarium box. So we're gonna start out with the leaf litter here. And what I really like to do with this leaf litter, I don't know about everybody else out there. I don't just like to throw, I threw a couple of whole leaves in here, but I really want to mix it up. I want to create a little bit more of a thicker bed of leaf litter, and by ripping it up into little pieces, the leaf litter lays better on top of each other and just creates a little bit of a denser like bed of leaf litter, which is a good place for the bumblebee catfish. They can kind of go from across the whole tank without even being seen by just staying underneath all that leaf litter. So I'm gonna rip up a whole bunch of this. I just rip them up as I'm putting them in the tank. I rip it up, and let me go ahead and open this up. I'm gonna move this all around with some tongs or tweezers or whatnot. But I kind of like keep out the big stem, the middle stem, because that takes forever to break down. So in a lot of cases, for the majority, I'll put the whole leaf in here as well, a couple of those, and there'll be some stems like this in there. But when I'm ripping them up, I just leave that out, and I just literally, it's time consuming, but I just rip up a whole bunch of these leaves, and I'll get them, like I said before, I'll move them around in the aquarium and place them where I want them. But it's just it's the way I like to do it, especially if like in my infusoria tank or something like that. That's how I like to this is how I like to prepare my almond leaves. You know, when I was in Peru, this is really how it was. In some cases, there was actually just 3-4 feet thick of leaf litter. You would sink into the leaf litter in these little creeks and rivers and whatnot. It's nice to see that most of this leaf litter is going to sink without a problem. It's been soaking, boiling all day yesterday, and I soaked it overnight, so it should definitely be saturated enough to sink without a problem. Now, I'm doing this to create the tannins, but for the most part, a lot of the tannins have been boiled out. Now I can filter all that water in the pot with like a coffee filter to get all the suspended solids and stuff like that out, and actually collect that tannin water, that tea, and I can add that tea to the aquarium as well. This time around, I'm not going to do that, but you can definitely do that. So basically what I'm doing here with the leaf litter is not so much about creating the tannins of a black water biotope, but it's actually to create the pH. So as this leaf litter starts to break down in here, it's going to decrease the pH and make the water a little bit more acidic. And that's something that happens over time. Just by adding tannins to the aquarium, that's not just going to automatically create an acidic biotope, or make the water column acidic. It's something that happens over time as this leaf litter starts to break down. So now I've got some of this is something from a coconut palm, a nice little thing. Hopefully that will sink without a problem. It might want to float, and it's halfway there. It kind of wants to sink. It kind of wants to float. It needs a little bit more time to get saturated. I'm okay with that. It's pretty close though. It's hanging out on end. There's just a little bit of air left in it. Now this guy is really cool. I got 3 of these from Michael Barber when he came back from a trip to Peru. We found a lot of these in the when we were in the jungle in Peru when I was there, but I just didn't have room in my luggage to bring them back. But he was nice enough to send me 3 of these with the nano blue tetras that he sent me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this in here, and it should, boom, sink without a problem. That's pretty sweet. And these little seed pods should sink too. That's really nice. This is the one I was worried about. Nope, it's gonna sink. And one more seed pod here. Nice. So now that I got everything in here, I'm gonna go ahead and move things around a little bit just to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I'm gonna get that leaf litter kind of spread out. I wanted a little bit more leaf litter over here on this side. It's really nice. You can actually see the bumblebee catfish just chilling out right there. But I'm gonna go ahead and move some of this around. You know, get this leaf litter moved over there. These seed pods, I kind of like them all in this area where this is where I have the lighting. This is where I can get some photo shots and stuff like that. So this is kind of, like I said before, more of like the on-stage display side of the aquarium, and that's kind of the side of the aquarium where if they want to really relax and mellow out, they can go over there. Alright, so now I just want to go ahead and move this stuff around. This is going to be the little staging area spot, so I kind of want to keep this around here. I might actually just keep this piece right where it's at. Move some of these seeds around over here on the sides. This will be my photo op spot, really. So it's nice to have a few of these seed pods and stuff hanging out right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get a lot of this leaf litter, the small pieces. The nice thing about the small pieces is I can put them all over the place, and they'll fill in little spots, you know. But it's just nice to add a little bit of fresh leaf litter, add some new tannins to the aquarium, and just give another layer of biodegrading plant matter just to help build up the acidity of the water a little bit. which is going to make everybody a little happier, and it's going to recreate home, which is really the end goal here, is to create a true Biotope aquarium where I'm actually recreating home for them. I want them to feel happy. I want them to feel like they're back in the Amazon. And the pH there was about 6.8 on average, 6.5 to 6.8. So in the end, that's kind of what I'm looking for, and that's about what I'm getting out of this leaf litter. I do enough water changes that kind of keep the pH at about 6.7, 6.8, which should make everybody in this tank pretty happy. Now my tap water to start with is about 8.2, so I do actually do reverse osmosis for pretty much all of my aquariums, including this one, just to help get that pH down and get that TDS down, because in Peru and most of the places that we were testing the water, TDS was about between maybe 12 to 16 parts per million, which is pretty clean water. Now, I definitely kicked up the mulm a little bit. I got some stuff floating around, suspended in the water. I'm gonna go ahead after this video, and I'm gonna, clean. I'm gonna rinse out that pre-filter there, and I'm gonna go ahead and, clean all the filtration inside of the hang on the back. Just rinse out the biomedia and stuff like that, just a little bit, to get a lot of these, a lot of the mulm that's been collected, that is suspended, that's been collected into the filter. Just make room to help collect some more and get this water polished up a little bit. I'll probably do another water change. I do a water change about every 3 days in here. And so, it gets its water changes. This water will clean up. It'll definitely get a little bit more color to it as the tannins start to leach out of this new leaf litter that I've added. It'll start to look really, really nice. So this is not the best shot right now with all these suspended particles, but it's reality, it's life in the wild. Well, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks right now. It's nice to have some new stuff in here, have some extra leaf litter, and these seed pods are pretty cool. If you're interested in some of these seed pods, you can definitely check them out on the My Aquarium Box website. I do also have a bunch of dried botanicals available on getgills.com. If you're interested in some of that, I have my almond leaves, mango leaves, and some other crushed dried botanicals and stuff like that that just make for a nice blackwater biotope. Check that out on getgills.com. But this is just, this is definitely a true biotope aquarium. I would even consider it like a biotype. This is definitely, most all of these plants in here can be found in the Amazon basin. And all of these fish can be found in the Amazon basin. Half of these fish, over half of these fish, most of these fish were collected from the wild in the Amazon, in the Madre de Dios River basin there in southern Peru. Just really excited about this aquarium, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're not subscribed to this content and you like it and you want to see more of it, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And remember, guys, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.